In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to letter on the card of your Advent calendar. So each day has a card, so we'll talk about how to do this faux calligraphy for the day and some composition tips for putting in what you want to do for each day. So it's going to be fun. Grab your cards, grab your pencil and your fine liner, and let's jump in. All right, the supplies that you're going to need are some of these mini cards, so we'll want to pull some of those out. That's what we're going to be lettering on. And then you're going to want to have your pencil and your fine liner ready. And then I also printed out the holiday advent calendar ideas. So this would be a great thing to print out, or you can just look at, so you can have some ideas of what you might want to do on for your advent and what you could write in the cards. So I'm just going to go through and do a couple with you of things that I know that I for sure want to put on my advent. One of them is make Christmas cookies. We do that every year. It's one of my favorite things. And so if you want, you can kind of go figure out which days, so you can do day 1 and just write it out to the side. So if I'm going to say this is day 1, and kind of plan it with your schedule of what you think will work. But we're going to take our card. You can use one of your other cards or an envelope. I'm going to use the envelope because it's already dark, and I'm just going to do, I want to write day 1 on it. So I did it kind of dark so you guys can see, but do it kind of lightly. And then we'll just write day 1. So something like this, and then we'll add the faux calligraphy as we go. So I'm going to do just day 1, day 2, day 3 with you guys in this video, and then the rest you'll be able to do as you go. All right, and then we'll do the last one. We'll do day 3 here. Again, we're just going to do our baseline. If you're feeling confident, you can not do the baseline, but I like having it there. So our S shape. Day 3. So we have day 1, day 2, day 3, and it looks like they progressively got bigger as I was doing it, but I'm not worried about it because they'll only see one of these at a time. We'll take our fine liner and we're going to go over this to make it faux calligraphy. So we'll start on that S shape. And remember, when we're doing faux calligraphy, anytime we're moving our pen down, that's where we add a thickness. And we don't have to follow the pencil exactly. And we can also, with faux calligraphy, make it as thick as we want it to be. So I'm going to have to move my A over a little bit. I'm going to have to move everything over a little bit because I went really big with my D. But remember, anytime you're moving your pen down, that's where your thickness is going to be. Then we'll add 1. Like that. So there's day 1. So I'm going to go ahead and do day 2 and day 3, and then we'll work on some of the actual prompts that go on the inside. Once you have all 3 of these done, you need to let the ink dry before you try to erase. So I'm not going to erase right now. I'm going to wait till after I work on the inside just to make sure that it's fully dry in there. So we'll open up the card, and then this is where we'll want to put the prompt. So I just want to make sure that it's nice and flat. And then, so for one of mine, I know that I'm going to be doing make Christmas cookies. So I'm going to do some lines, some base lines. And what I like to do is when I'm looking at the word or phrase, so I've made Christmas cookies, so I can kind of think how I might want to lay it out. So maybe it's make Christmas cookies. I think maybe I could try 3 lines for that one, just because Christmas is such a long word, and so it would be like make Christmas and then cookies. I just think it might look better all 3. So you can kind of write it out to see how you would want it to fit on your space. So if I'm going to do 3 lines, I'm going down maybe about a 1/2 inch and just giving myself some guidelines. So that's going to be my baselines where I write all of my things. So I'm actually going to start with lettering Christmas first, because that's my longest word and I want that to be centered. So something like this. And you can see it's a little bit off center. There's less space here than here. So what I could do is I could try to do a little bit wider of a flourish there to make room. I'm not going to cross my T. I'm not going to do any of the extra flourishing until I get my next word on. And so I'm going to do make. And I think I'm going to do a lowercase m. And I can tell it's already not centered, but I think it'll work out okay. I'm going to just go with it. Make Christmas and then cookies. I think I'll do a big C. So I can know I can do a big loop there. I can loop the C and cross my T like that. I could do something like that on the H. And I don't actually love the make, because I'm like, the cookies and Christmas turned out so good. So that's why we use pencil. So we can get it just how we want it before we do ink. And I think I will do a capital M. And because of that, I'm like, I don't need that H thing there. I can probably do that with my M. So make Christmas cookies. And the other thing that I want to do is I can see there's some extra space right here. There's less space here than on this side. So if I try to cross my T, like maybe I could kind of bring it up like that to kind of fill that space. The other thing to look out here is it's not quite centered. It needs to be down a little bit further. To balance it out, we could just add something like a little flourishy thing on the bottom to kind of balance it so there's not so much space, but next time I can move it down a little bit. So that's make Christmas cookies. I'm going to do this in ink for you, but I'm going to show you 2 more in pencil just to talk through the layout with you and how to kind of do the formatting. So for day 2, if I look at my list again, I want to see one that we would actually do, write a letter to Santa. I know we would for sure do that one. So this one's going to be my day 2. So you can use this as much or as little as you want. I know a lot of people like to do like religious-based Advents, which is super fun, and so you could totally do that. This is going to be write a letter to Santa. Let's look at this. So we do write a letter to Santa. So I think we can still do 3 lines again. So I can use this one as a reference, and I know that wasn't quite centered. So if I bring it down a little bit more, then hopefully that will be a little more balanced. Okay, so write a letter to Santa is what we're doing. So I think I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to start, well, I'll just start at the top on this one. So I did that a curvy W, but I'm like, actually I want to do it pointed, and I think in the workbook. I can cross that one because there's nothing else going on the top. Write letter. I didn't quite get it centered. To Santa. I brought that T down to kind of balance it out because again, this is so tight and this isn't. But I think that looks fun. I'm not going to worry too much about it. It's a little big. Let's see if the next one I can make it a little bit smaller so it's not so tight. And so we need one more just to demo for you. Let's see, what other one do I know that we're going to do? We're definitely going to be watching a holiday movie. Some of these I'm like, I feel like I would want to choose things that's like going to make us do something fun that we wouldn't normally do. But other times I'm like, I want to make sure we have some in here that I'm like, we're already doing this. Let's just put it on the Advent so it makes it feel more fun. You know what I mean? But there's lots of fun ideas of new things that we've never done that I think will be really fun to do. Watch a holiday movie. So watch a holiday movie. I think we can do it like that. So we'll just stick with this 3. It's working pretty well. We're going to go down even a little bit further. I guess a good way to like tell how far to go down is if our letters are this high, we know it's going to be this high on this top one. So this space in the bottom should be about equal. So it's watch a holiday movie. And if you need help with your lettering, definitely check out the workshop video and use the workbook to help. Watch a holiday Okay, so this was a good example of like leaving certain things off. So I didn't cross my Y yet because I want to make sure I have plenty of room to do that. And let's fix my M like this. I think it looks cute. So from here, let's go back to, so that's kind of basics of the like composition. So then we'll go back over it in our ink. So remember, anytime we're moving our pen down, that's where the thickness is. So this whole side of the M. And I wouldn't make this super thick because, like the faux calligraphy, we're not adding a ton of thickness. Just because these are so tiny, we don't really have a ton of room to make them super thick. And just remember, anytime you're moving your pen down, that's where you're going to add your thickness. And don't forget to dot your I's. So on this one, I did start here and drew it this way, but technically when crossing the T, you would start on this side and work this way. But it was just easier for me to draw it this way. So technically this would be where the thickness is. It's on that side. So we'll add our thickness on all of these. And then we've got our last word, cookies. And the same with flourishes. It's anytime we're kind of moving down is where we would add the thickness. Something like that. So cute. So from here, like I want to let that dry a little bit. We can erase all the day ones now. They're plenty dry by now. So you'll just go back over, just erase your baseline. I'm sorry it shakes the camera when I do this. Any pencil that you didn't draw over. So then you have day 2. That looks so cute. So we can do that with day 1 and day 3 as well. But that's kind of the last step, is once the ink is totally dry, going over it and erasing it. And so I wouldn't do the inside of this one yet either. I'd still let it wait because it always never fails me. I think it's done and then I start erasing it and I mess it up. So better to wait. So like this. So cute. And so then of course you can watch the other video with how to do the frame illustrations. So you can do the frame illustration and do the letter in the middle, and then you can just slide the card in and you'll have a cute little advent envelope. And then of course you'll put your seal here. So cute, so fun. So let me know if you have any questions about lettering inside your advent cards. I'd be happy to answer them, but I can't wait to see your advents and everything that you make with this project. Thank you so much for watching. These turned out so fun and so cute. They're going to be such a cute little calendar. So make sure after you finish this video, go watch the one for how to letter and do the frame illustration on your envelopes, and you will be all set to make your holiday garland.